Hey, what's up? Today I'm going to talk to you which one is better, renting or buying? Well, the truth is that it really depends on what you're buying, and it also depends on what you're renting. At the same time, it also depends on where you are in life and what your goals are moving forward. So, a few things that I'm going to illustrate here. I'm just going to break down the pros and cons of each one. So, buying, what are the expenses with buying? Buying, the expenses are obviously the mortgage, the taxes, right? The insurance, especially if you're in a flood zone, the insurance is higher. Repairs and maintenance, this is something that many people do not factor in when they purchase a home. You have to be able to repair and maintain the home, okay? HOA, which is the housing association that many houses have them, some don't. It just depends. It's applicable depending on the home and the area. And lastly, one thing that people don't factor as well is the opportunity cost of that down payment. Okay, so when you put a down payment on a home, usually it's 20% if you use a conventional bank loan. And let's say you get $100,000 house, your down payment will be $20,000. Something more realistic would be getting, let's say, a $500,000 house. The down payment for that home is 20%, would be $100,000. So the opportunity cost of you putting that money down and investing it into that house or putting it into that house is there's a cost of opportunity for that. So what are the gains when it comes to buying a house? Well, for one, equity, right? As every time you pay your mortgage, a piece of that goes to the principal loan balance. And a majority, at least at the beginning, goes to the interest payment. Usually it takes around 10 to 15 years to start making significant payments on your principal loan balance because those first years will be mostly interest payments, okay? But as you pay down the loan and assuming that the market continues to go up in the future, then you start building equity, which is the difference between your loan balance and the value of that home. What else? What about the interest write-offs? So you can actually write off the interest payments, at least a portion of it, when you do your taxes. You'll get a somewhat significant amount of money back. It won't be the entire thing, but at least some of it will come back to you. And lastly, appreciation. So as you continue to live in the house and maintain the home and pay off the home, the market will gradually go up as history has shown. Real estate always appreciates over time. In the short term, it's a little different. It's a bit difficult to calculate appreciation and how much it will appreciate because it depends on where you are. If you're closer to a beach, for example, or let's say downtown, then it will likely be more in demand because it's closer to these attractions. So it will appreciate faster or at a higher rate than maybe somewhere out in the suburbs, okay? What about renting? What are the expenses or cons for renting? Well, obviously rent payments, okay? That is going to be a significant amount of your expenses when it comes to renting. Utilities is a portion of your rent payments or a portion of your expenses. Many times, landlords require you to have rentals insurance, so that factors into the monthly expense. And one thing that many renters or tenants don't factor in is that rents always go up depending on the market as well. So usually it's a 3% increase per year, and many times landlords do increase the rent on tenants. So that is also an expense. So what are the benefits or pros? Well, you're not stuck in this one home or apartment forever. You can move and you have mobility. You can go anywhere you want to after your lease is over. You don't have to stay there. Another thing is that you're not responsible for the repairs and maintenance of the property, at least the major repairs. Most of the time, the landlord will repair the home for you, or any issues that arise from the home. Another thing is no need to sell. You don't have to worry about selling the property. The process of selling, the transactional cost of selling, you don't have to worry about any of that. Whenever your lease is over or whenever you want to move, you can simply move. And lastly, the fact that you have access to your down payment. So depending on what loan you take out, if you take out a first-time homebuyer loan, then your down payment will range between 3.5 and 5% of the asking price. If you take out a conventional loan, it will be around 20%. So you have that down payment where you can invest it into anything else, especially if it's a large amount of money. You can invest it into something else that will bring you a return while you rent. So that way your rent will actually not be as expensive because you're making and investing in something else that's giving you money, monthly. So which is better? Well, there's no right or wrong answer to this. Renting is better if the market is down. If the market is down or it's on its way down, then there's no point in buying a home, because most of the time if you buy a home on the way down or at the top of the market, the likelihood that it will continue to go up is very slim. So you end up losing a lot of value on the home, like many people did in 2008 when the market crashed. Another way, or another reason why renting would be better, is if you're able to make 12% return on the money that you're going to use for a down payment. If you can take that $100,000 that we talked about in our example before, 20% of 500,000, and you can make a 12% return on that, then you will be better renting, because you'll have more money monthly than you would if you were to use that down payment to put into a house where it will be illiquid for the next 5-10 years. Another reason, or another way that it would be better for you, is if you plan to live in the rental for a short amount of time. If you're looking to live in that area for maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, then renting will be better for you, because you don't have to deal with the transactional costs of selling. The benefit of selling comes long term when it comes to owning a home. And lastly, you don't have to, if you don't have a lot of money pooled up, or you don't have access to a large amount of capital, then renting is better for you, because you don't have to allocate all that money into this property, especially if you don't have it. You are able to save more, as opposed to having to spend money in repairing and taxes and things of that nature. Buying is better for you if the prices or the market is on a upturn. So if the market is on its way up, then buying is a good option for you. Okay? Now, it's hard to know when the market is going up or when the market is going down. The best thing to do is to talk to a real estate agent or do your research when it comes to that. Another way that buying would be better for you is if you're planning on living in that area for a long amount of time. If you have kids, or if you are looking to raise a family, then buying a home will probably benefit you more than renting, because you don't have to move all the time. You have more stability when it comes to you and your family. And lastly, if you don't want to deal with landlords or deal with rent increases and have control over the property, then buying a property is for you. Okay, my opinion is, when it comes to this whole thing, is I believe that buying a house and renting one side out while you live in one area or one side of the apartment or home, and then moving out and renting out that home or that unit, which is called house hacking, is the best way, because that way you are able to not only have equity in the property, but you may even have cash flow coming from the property if you buy it at a good enough price. So those are my 2 cents when it comes to the renting versus buying discussion. It just really depends on where you are and what you're looking to do. There's no right or wrong answer. So hopefully that brought you some type of value and you are able to use this to benefit you in a decision moving forward. If you have any questions or anything, reach out to me, follow me on Instagram, and like this video. All right, peace.